other members of the Abhyudaya family and extended family members. Frankly speaking, I am not here to address. In fact, after ending the first time I saw this topic, that social service and media, and many of you must be thinking that this is now become an oxymoron. How media can be a social service. So I'll come to that later. But I'm here more to, share, to listen, to. So just for a few minutes, I will share my thoughts, and then I would like to listen from your side. First of all, I am really grateful to the members of Abhyudaya family that they have made me part of this experience of actual realizing what is Abhyudaya. Abhyudaya, I have done some stories, I have heard about it. I knew this kind of activity is going, but I am purposefully using the word realization. Because there are different levels that in our tradition we have always talked about. There is just knowing. Most of we do through our formal education is nothing but knowing. Then beyond knowing, there is experiencing. What we call is anubhava. Knowing is just knowing information. Then there is anubhava. So you just experience, oh, there is some kind of problem in the society. So you have experienced it. But beyond that, there is something that is called anubhuti, that is Abhyudaya. When you start working on the problem as a solution, and not for Abhyudaya of others, it is in fact Abhyudaya of self. Because giving something is real Udaya. And while giving, when you inspire others, in turn to give others, that becomes Abhyudaya. But the real question is, what to give? Many a times we believe that service is just about giving. And there I find Swami Vivekananda really breaking, or rather reviving, the broken tradition of sewa. I was really fortunate that last year when 125th anniversary of his Chicago speech was celebrated in Chicago, I was one of the speakers who actually spoke from the same place where Vivekananda spoke. And though I spoke mainly about media and the role of media in constructive discourse for humanity, what I find amazing about this one person is, you will not find a single speech of Swamiji all over the world where he is not speaking positively about Bharat, Bharatiya tradition, spirituality, Hindu Dharma. And the moment he lands back at Colombo, and even then Colombo was considered as part of larger Bharat, he starts speaking about our problems. He followed our real family tradition. So whatever bad has to be spoken is within the family. Whatever good is to be spoken outside. The problem with our media today is they have started doing exactly the reverse. In fact, most of the times they are speaking bad, as if nothing good is happening in our society. And it is not just about media, because I believe that whether it is media, whether it is politics, whether it is any other field, it is just a reflection of our society. Just now we were having some discussion about the deteriorating conditions, whether we are really, in terms of values, in terms of though I am not very pessimistic person, because I find there are many such. I am the person who believes that darkness is nothing but the absence of light. Even a small light, lamp is lightened, darkness will automatically go. And many such Abhyudayas are tried everywhere in Bharat. So many lamps are already lighting. But still, I will go to the crux of the problem. Where is the root of that darkness? I think the root of that darkness in our intellectual sphere. Our intellectual sphere, whether in media or academia or activism, is influenced by the non-Bharatiya parameters. And in the name of that, what we have started doing now is, in the name of Yatharthavad, Vastavvad, realism, we have started the peripheral issues of society as the mainstream issues. And in turn, we have stopped discussing about the ideals. So, and that this has started in literature, this has started in our cinema, this has started in day-to-day our discussion also. If you see, I remember, listening to one story or reading one story, rather literature for children, where a small child, he starts, gets into some kind of mischief in school. His mother doesn't scold him. Then one day he actually steals a rubber or pencil from his schoolmate's bag. Still his mother pats him. One day, he grows up and he got by the police in some big crime. And then his mother comes crying to the police station. And she starts pleading. So that boy says, no, please don't listen to her. I have done this crime and I will. But before I face the penalty for whatever I have done, I want to speak to her. He goes back and literally bites her ears. And he says, when I had stolen first pencil, if then you would have stopped me, I would not have landed where I am. Then I remember one story where a hungry mother and son, they didn't get any food for 2 days. They find a wallet lying on the road. It has thousands of rupees. And then they have a conversation. First, son tries to convince the mother, we are hungry, anyway that person has lost this. What's wrong if we use this? We should use this. God has given this to us. And then mother tries to tell, no, this is not ours, we should not. This is a stolen money, this is not good. But somehow son convinces mother, and mother also feels that he is hungry for 2 days now, something I have to do. By then, son realizes that what you were saying was right. And finally they come to the conclusion that we have to return this to the person. We should find out the person. Now these are small stories. Last month I was having a conversation with script writers for various serials and cinema. Because that is also media. And all of them were trying to convince me that we are showing what is happening in the society. I said, okay, fine. Then I gave them a preview of all the serials that are being played, especially in the afternoon slot. And I asked them, is it the Indian reality? You show half of the marriages are broken, or more than half, in fact. Divorce rate in India is still 1.5%. You show all women are witches. Either they are having extramarital affairs, or they are making somebody else's family, or they are just getting into. So you are creating new ideals in the name of showing reality, or you are really showing the reality? And they were speechless. So when we are talking about service in any form, first of all, we should always keep in mind that we are not doing this for others, we are doing it for ourselves. Even that sense of satisfaction is for ourselves. But more important than that art of giving is there for the larger cause of that sense of realization that we are not meant for ourselves. We have a unique spiritual connect because of which this nation has a unique role and identity for entire humanity. When I took this role as editor organizer, I was teaching in a university as an associate professor. I knew that I am not going to get similar kind of salary. I knew that I am not going to get similar kind of lifestyle. So taking entire family, convincing them for the new role was not an easy task. But I thought, I am just teaching few classes. Here I can play a role for the larger cause, for the larger society. And that mission, that idea that we are one unique nation that has a role to play, that can be conveyed through this platform called a weekly magazine Organiser. Every week almost I travel some of the other corner of India. I never found a place, never, nowhere. I visited almost extreme corner of Jammu Kashmir to Andaman Nicobar, or from Somnath to almost Tawang border of Arunachal. I didn't find a single place where you name Saraswati and people didn't connect with Vidya. You name Lakshmi and people didn't connect with earned money. You name Shiva and people didn't connect with Kailas. You name Parvati and they didn't connect with Kanyakumari. This is not a coincidence. Many of us don't speak same language. Many of us don't have same food habits. At many places even clothes are different. Even celebration of festivals are different. But the purpose of life and philosophy behind that life is the same. And therefore I keep repeating that we are not a nation with unity in diversity. We are a unique culture that celebrates diversity. We realize inherent unity in that diversity. That is our uniqueness. People fought on the basis of languages before 1955, when we got into this mindset that Kannada speaking people is Karnataka and Marathi speaking speaker is Maharashtra, Gujarati speaking people is Gujarat. We don't find a single incidence of, forget about war, even a conflict on the basis of language. In entire history, we have many more languages than what we have today. But we never had a conflict on the basis of language. Because all of us considered Sanskrit to be the mother of all languages, all others are sisters who can coexist and flourish together. That was our wisdom. We are losing on that wisdom because we are employing the wrong parameters to understand Bharat. That has become problematic. So what we are imparting to our students, our next generation, is not just about knowing, not just about experiencing, but realization of this unique responsibility while cherishing their, pursuing their profession. Cherishing this great tradition of celebrating diversity while realizing inherent unity. Making them aware, making them realize this unique responsibility is the real objective. And I believe whether somebody is working directly in social service, whether somebody is in education, whether in technology, whether in media, or legal, or whatever profession, if we really want to see Abhyudaya for Bharat, and in turn Abhyudaya for humanity, realizing this spirituality based inherent unity that celebrates diversity is the key. Bringing back that wisdom in our day-to-day life, day-to-day teaching, day-to-day conversation, day-to-day interaction with each other, I think is the real challenge of present time. I see these lamps that are lighted everywhere, various forms of Abhyudaya all over Bharat, is basically working in that direction. All of us are what we can say as just co-travelers in that journey. But that journey is not blind. That is definitely a journey from tamosoma to asatoma. Making that journey conscious and generally it says from unconscious to conscious is the real journey. So I believe that Abhyudaya has taken all of us on that path as co-travelers. With this kind of interaction, we will become conscious about that journey and revitalize our energy for the larger cause, not just for Bharat, but for entire humanity. I again thank Abhyudaya family for giving this opportunity of not just knowing, not just experiencing, but realizing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for provoking us and realizing us that we are losing morality even day-to-day life. I promise you, we will come up and we will realize that we are losing morality. So we will come up with good values and serve our nation. So, as our title describes, social service and media. We are at the center idea of this event, and here there will be interaction with our chief guest, Prafulla sir, and our audience. So I please every audience, whoever want to ask or interact with the sir, please raise your hand so that our volunteers will reach you with the mic, and there will be easy communication with the sir.
Alluded. It's about essentially what we're talking about is the decolonizing Indian mind, and in that respect we have almost the 6th year of our nationalistic government. So do you think HRD ministry has taken any steps in bringing in these values that we have been talking about, spiritual progress, etc., in terms of in the school education, etc.? Because the textbooks that we are reading now, still for 15 years old textbooks, and in 2005 this came out, especially the MHRD textbooks, and so I see my kids reading the same old rod that about the argument and everybody came from outside, all those nonsense. And so when are we going to change? Do you think change is going to happen from the top, or it's always about change from the bottom?
Thank you for this question. But that is the entire problem about colonized minds. And the biggest sign of our colonized minds is that we expect the state and the government to change the things. That is again European way of thinking, typical British way of thinking. In Bharat, never change occurred from the government side, state side. It is always the society that changed, somebody came as a manifestation of it. Many people ask, especially the foreign delegates who come to meet me, even Indian media people, they generally ask me, don't you think, because Modi came to power, RSS work is increasing, Hindu consciousness is increasing. And I always tell them that you always read Bharat wrong. Hindu consciousness was increasing right from the day some government tried to coin the theory of Hindu terror. Modi is the manifestation of it. If BJP coming to power would have led to the growth in Sanghavar, then the first BJP MP should have been from Nagpur. In fact, in last 70 years, Ketkarji is the first MP who is BJP MP from Sangha background from Nagpur. The highest number of MP should have been from Kerala. So, yes, because unfortunately we are inheriting that colonial state and the colonial structure of governance. We tend to have this kind of expectation. But we should keep in mind that ultimately this is British created, Congress nurtured structure, which is not going to give up so easily. There is a structural flaw in this state machinery which is against the ethos of Bharat. You take anybody who has seen Bharat from Bharatiya point of view, whether Swami Vivekananda or Aurobindo or Tagore or even for that matter Gandhi or Deen Dayal or Lohiya, I am deliberately taking from different ideological backgrounds. And all of them say, decentralize. Let the society decide. Let the society own health, education, water resources. State should facilitate. The biggest and the highest, what is the biggest success story of India when it comes to the water management? It is Krishna Sagar. What else were just facilitators? It was the society who built that dam. Everybody contributed and then society owns. This is a unique Hindu model of socialism. The moment state comes in as a law, Hindu mind reacts negatively. Our DNA is not to follow the law imposed from above. Our DNA is to follow the conscious path of dharma coming from within. The same rule you impose from Bangalore Municipal Corporation, nobody will follow. You organize a meeting at local temple and consensually build certain rule, everybody will follow. That is our mindset. And we have survived just because of that mindset. Take it from me. Otherwise, you take it from Latin America to Australia. Entire southern belt of the earth, where colonizers went. The indigenous communities are not there even as a showpiece. They are vanished. It is only this part of the earth where this dharmic tradition is still thriving, and it is because of its societal strength. If societal strength is increased, whoever is in power, they will have to change the policy. As far as changing education, see, we are still in a transitory phase. And as I said, most of the confusions are there in the intellectual field. We are still tendency of getting into debates that are defined by the Western terminology. Sorry for one question, I am giving a long answer. But a couple of years back, I was here in Mudugidri, and our campus for one interaction with journalism students from entire state of that. And things happened in such a way. I was supposed to speak in a valedictory session. But because it was Bangalore and I wanted to visit the coastal area also, so I went a day early. So naturally I was there since morning for that workshop. Pratap Singh was there in the inaugural session. Initially he started speaking in English. Remember that time anti-Hindi agitation was at its peak in Bangalore. Pratap Singh started speaking in English. Eventually he realized, because many students started asking questions in Kannada. So he switched over to Kannada. After that, 2 complete sessions were there. One before lunch, one after lunch. The entire sessions went in Kannada. I was sitting there in the first row. And everybody was trying to, console me, hope you are comfortable. I said, I have no issues. Because if somebody is speaking just Kannada, I can understand at least 60-70% of the words. Because if I know proper Marathi, if I know proper Sanskrit, I can understand Kannada. The same is with Malayalam. But the real challenge was when I stood up for speaking. And I started conversing. Obviously, I apologized them and I said, I can't speak in Kannada. Though I can understand what you want to convey, at least I can pick up certain words. So I started speaking in English. And the faces I could see as a teacher on the students' faces were completely blank, as I can see even now for many students. And as I said, the agitation against Hindi was at its peak. And I said, "Kya main Hindi mein baat karu?" And they suddenly said, "Yes." और मैंने शुद्ध हिंदी में बात रखी, और शुद्ध हिंदी में बात करते हैं तो उसमें भी बहुत सारे संस्कृत शब्द ही आते हैं, इसलिए उनको भी समस्या नहीं थी। लेकिन उस समस्या को जब मैं दिक्कत होने लगता हूं तो उनको दिक्कत होने लगती है। समस्या बोलता हूं तो नहीं आता। Then I realized that they don't have problem with Hindi, they have problem with Urduize. unfortunately, in our entire education system, we haven't evolved this kind of. So we have to build certain mechanism, models, consensus at the societal level. I challenge you. Even tomorrow, communists come to rule somewhere. It's not possible now. But they will be also forced. If society is ready to take over the education in its country, the moment we are, the moment we want everything to be done by the government, we are in problem. We are the masters. Like there is one incident in Gujarat. We were running such many projects in Gujarat, especially in tribal area. And first time BJP government came with the full majority in Gujarat. Shri Prafulla was chief minister. Even before that there was government, but it was a Khichdi government. So first time full majority government came. Obviously, we started convincing. Why don't you do the Kalyanasram projects? Why don't you apply? In many these missionary schools are coming, their projects are coming. Why don't you apply? We have allotted money. We should use that. It virtually became a conflicting point. And it went up to Pracharak level. Called a meeting, we had a discussion, and finally he asked only one question: where are you getting this money from? Government people said, from the people through taxes. So who is the real owner of this treasury? Is the people.